Hello again. Today I'm comparing the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 and the Puma Deviate Nitro 2. I've done several runs in both of these shoes now. I've got 36 miles on this shoe, 27 miles on this shoe. I've done some easy pace runs, some tempo runs, some intervals in both shoes, and really just wanted to give a more in-depth comparison between the two of them today. I have done reviews on both of these shoes, so take a look on my channel for the full review of each shoe. But today I just want to kind of go over the differences between them. So let's get into some run footage and we'll go from there. What I did on this run was 3 miles in each shoe. So I did 3 miles in the Endorphin Speed first. Then I actually put one shoe on each foot and did like a couple 100 meters in both to feel them at the exact same time. Then I switched to the Deviate Nitro 2 and did another 3 miles on the exact same course. So we'll see how that worked out for me. First up was the Speed 3. I have kind of a hilly neighborhood that I run through, so it's about 185 feet of elevation in that 3 mile run. I'll put on the screen now some of the results from the run. So ended up going for kind of like a little bit faster than easy pace. I wasn't trying to push it really hard, but I also wasn't trying to run easy. So it was kind of a steady run that I was going for, just to try and feel out the shoes, how they felt when I was trying to give it a little bit more than easy effort, how the shoes kind of responded to me there. So with the Speed 3, ended up doing the 3 miles in 22 minutes and 12 seconds. So it was a 7:23 average pace. The last quarter mile in each shoe, I turned it up to go to the finish as hard as I could, just to see what speed I could get up to in the shoe and how it felt trying to close strong. So I got up to 11 miles an hour in this shoe, 5:29 minute mile pace towards the end of the 3 miles. My mile times ended up being 7 minutes 22 seconds in the first mile, 7:28 in mile 2, and then it closed with 7:19, going a little bit faster in that last mile to try and end strong. This is one where I had a similar experience that I've had in past runs, where this shoe is very comfortable, very stable, has a nice kind of bounce and roll to it, but it's not incredibly assisted. It doesn't have a really strong toe off, so it feels really comfortable for the type of run that I just did right there, but it wasn't really encouraging me to turn up the pace. So the first mile just kind of did what felt comfortable. Then the second mile, there was some more uphill in there, so that's why that one was a little bit slower, and then closed pretty strong with the 7:19. Some time has passed since I started filming this video. Got a little busy and wasn't able to finish it. So I actually did get in a few more runs in both of these shoes. I have the Speed 3 up to 57 miles now, and 47 miles on the Deviate Nitro 2. One of the things you might have noticed looking at the shoe, this used to have white laces, now it has orange laces, so I was trying to match it to the other color in there. I took these from one of my other Saucony shoes. One of the things that a lot of people have noticed with this shoe, the laces that it came with are very stretchy. So I actually had to tie it down really tight to try and get a good lockdown because those laces were so stretchy. So these are more traditional laces that I took from one of my other Saucony shoes, the Endorphin Shift. So these actually work a lot better for me. I don't have to tie the shoe down as tight, and I'm getting a better lockdown. Now, my initial thoughts on this shoe was actually I was a little bit disappointed because it doesn't have quite the same speed as the previous models, the Speed 1 and the Speed 2. But once I kind of recalibrated my expectations of what this shoe is supposed to be, it is actually a really excellent shoe. I think this one and the Deviate Nitro 2 are two of my favorite shoes that are pretty versatile overall. It's just that one skews a little bit faster, and this one skews a little bit more towards comfort, long runs and daily runs. So this has actually been a very good shoe for me for daily miles. I recently did about a 9 mile run in it in about an hour and 10 minutes. So just over 8-minute average pace. Very comfortable, no heel slippage. Just a solid performing shoe overall. Something that was pretty interesting to me doing that 3-mile run back to back with the two shoes and then also wearing them at the same time was actually how similar the foams felt when wearing them at the same time. I felt like this one was a little bit more squishy, a little bit more responsive, but running with this on one foot and the Speed on the other foot, the foams felt very similar actually. The one big difference is the plate in this shoe. This having that carbon composite plate is stiffer than the Speed. It does feel faster. It just gives you a little bit more pop. It encourages you to run a little bit faster, but my times were almost identical in those two runs because I was giving it about the same level of effort. I just felt like I was going faster in this shoe, and what ended up happening too was the first mile in this one, I ran in like a 7:10, and the first mile in the Speed, I ran in a 7:22. So I was actually 12 seconds faster in the first mile with this shoe. But then in the second mile, that kind of tired me out a little bit more. So I ran a 7:39 in this shoe where it was a 7:28 in the Speed, and then in the third mile was about the same. So really this one made me feel like I wanted to pick it up and go a little bit harder right away, whereas the Speed was just like, I'm chilling, it's a little bit more casual, but then it meant my times were a little bit more consistent, where this one was skewed more towards speed in that first mile because I was feeling really good. I'm going to be running the Brooklyn Half Marathon in May, so I just started a new training block where I'm doing a lot more kind of longer, easy runs, and I'm going to mix in some speed work. So I recently ran for an hour and 10 minutes in each shoe and ended up getting almost identical results. It was just, again, it's marginally faster. This one, I averaged 8:03 pace for an hour and 10 minutes and went 8.7 miles. With the Speed, I ended up going 8:07 pace and went 8.64 miles during that same time period. So really what we're looking at here with these two shoes is two of the best daily trainers on the market. In the past, I would have said that the Speed was more of a tempo shoe / daily trainer, but if you're looking for the Speed to be a daily trainer, I think this is actually better than the previous Speed. It has more stability, it has more of an accommodating fit, it's softer and more comfortable for long runs and for daily miles, but it's lost a little bit of that speed, that up-tempo nature of the previous shoe. So if you're looking to use this as a tempo shoe, I feel like it's not as good as the previous shoe, but for a daily trainer and just eating up miles, this is better than the one and the two for that. With the Deviate Nitro, I like the fit of this one better. It has a more narrow toe box. It fits my foot a little bit better. There's less room in the upper overall. There's more rubber on the outsole with the Puma shoe, and it's got that excellent Puma grip that really grips onto anything. So for an outsole durability, I think I'm definitely going to give it to this one. You can see I do have some of that wear on the Saucony shoe here after about 57 miles, but it hasn't really expanded at all beyond that spot. I got that around 36 miles, so I've ran another 20 miles in the shoe, and it hasn't really changed at all. There's a little bit more wear right there on the exposed foam, but this really isn't affecting the performance of the shoe at all. This shoe is $170 new. This shoe is $160 new. They're very similar in lots of ways. This one is about an ounce lighter than this one is, probably because of all that extra outsole rubber on here. So if I was like to rank these shoes out of 5, I would give this one 4 out of 5 as being like a daily trainer, a really strong daily trainer, comfortable, supportive, good for long runs, good for easy runs, but lacking that ability to go faster for me. whereas this one I'd actually give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's nearly perfect, this shoe. I really like the fit of it, that it's more narrow in the toe box, works better for me. I really like the tongue in this shoe. It has that padding in the top of the tongue here to relieve the lace pressure. I get zero slippage. The fact that this has that carbon composite plate in it gives me a little bit more pop, a little bit more of an energetic feeling. I can kind of take this shoe up to tempo paces and do some interval workouts where I feel like that toe off is kind of missing from the Speed 3. But again, I think this is really going to be a matter of preference and the shape of your foot. Like, I think if anybody has a little bit larger volume foot, a little bit wider foot, this is going to be a better fitting shoe for you than this one is. This is a little bit more narrow in the instep and in the toe box, but that actually fits me really well. They're both good for easy runs, but when I start going a little bit faster, this one's just giving me a little bit more back. So this is giving me everything that this one does, plus a little bit extra. So to me, this is the winner of this comparison, but that's not to say that the Speed 3 is a slouch in any matter. This is still a really solid shoe. I enjoy it. I'm going to put a lot of miles in it, but if I want to run a little bit faster, this is the one I'm going to reach for. So again, if you have a little bit wider foot, you might like the fit of this one more, but if you want a daily shoe that can also do some faster miles, I think that the Puma has the Saucony beat this go around. Also, with that Puma grip outsole, I think this is going to be more durable than the Speed 3 is, and you can take it on more surfaces. I feel more comfortable using this when it's wet. You could even use this on light trails and it would grip just fine. So versatility-wise and speed-wise, I think this kicks it up a notch from the Speed 3. So that's all I have for today. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.